Good evening, everyone. Today, let's explore something magical, something transformational, a touch so profound it could deepen a bond forever. It's not just about physical contact, it's about the energy, intention, and meaning behind it. This one touch will make him yours forever, not through possession, but through connection. We live in a world overflowing with distractions, emails, texts, endless to-do lists. But true intimacy begins when we silence the noise and tune into the moment. Imagine this. You reach out your hand, not as a reflex or an afterthought, but as a conscious choice to connect. When your touch carries authenticity, vulnerability, and love, it becomes unforgettable. It becomes a ritual. When you reach for something without expectation or anxiety, it reminds you of something to be grateful for. This connection begins with vulnerability, and vulnerability is often misunderstood as weakness. Yet, in truth, it is one of the greatest acts of strength and courage. To be vulnerable means to allow yourself to be seen, not the polished, filtered version of who you think you should be, but the raw, unfiltered truth of who you really are. It is stepping into the unknown with the willingness to say, "This is me, here I stand," imperfect but real, open to the possibility of love, acceptance, or even rejection. In our relationships, vulnerability lays the foundation for true connection. Think about it. How often do we build walls around our hearts, fearing that letting someone in might make us weak or expose us to pain? We armor ourselves with pride, deflect with humor, or distract ourselves with busyness, all to avoid showing the delicate parts of who we are. But the irony is, the walls we build to protect ourselves often keep us isolated from the love and intimacy we crave. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you invite the other person into your world. You give them a glimpse of your fears, your dreams, your joys, and your struggles. And in doing so, you say to them, "I trust you with this part of me." That trust, that willingness to be seen, is where connection truly begins. Because when someone sees the unguarded version of you and responds with acceptance, the bond between you deepens in a way that nothing else can replicate. Vulnerability is also a mirror. When you open up, you create space for the other person to do the same. It's as if your courage becomes permission for them to share their own truths. In these shared moments of honesty, something magical happens. The walls come down and two hearts meet in a space of authenticity. There is no pretending, no performing, just a mutual understanding that you are both human, beautifully flawed, and worthy of love. But vulnerability isn't always comfortable. It requires risk. There is no guarantee that your openness will be met with the response you hope for. And that's why it's so powerful, because it's an act of bravery. It says, even if I'm not met the way I hope to be, I'm willing to show up fully. And that act alone is transformative. It teaches us resilience, self-acceptance, and the understanding that our worth is not determined by someone else's reaction. Vulnerability doesn't mean oversharing or exposing yourself indiscriminately. It's about discerning when and with whom to share the deeper parts of yourself. It's about recognizing that true intimacy isn't built on grand gestures or dramatic confessions, but on the quiet, consistent choice to let someone in, bit by bit, layer by layer. And here's the beautiful thing. The more you practice vulnerability, the more it becomes a strength. You realize that your authenticity is your superpower, that the parts of yourself you once hid are actually the very things that make you unique and lovable. You begin to attract relationships where you don't have to pretend or perform. Relationships where you can simply be. Distinctiveness, vulnerability. Let go of the fear that vulnerability will make you weak. Embrace it as the bridge that connects your heart to another. In a world where so many people are afraid to be seen, your willingness to be real is a gift. It's a gift to yourself and to anyone lucky enough to share in your journey. Because when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we discover the truth that love isn't about perfection or control. It's about showing up as we are and finding that in our rawest, most unguarded moments, we are more than enough. Listen, the power of presence is one of the most underrated yet transformative forces in our lives. In a world filled with constant distractions, being truly present has become a rare and precious gift. We are so often caught up in our thoughts, our plans, our to-do lists, and the endless stream of notifications that we rarely pause to fully engage with the moment we are in or the people who are with us. Yet, when we choose to be present, something remarkable happens. It creates a space where connection, understanding, and genuine intimacy can flourish. Being present is more than just being physically there. It is about giving your full attention, your undivided focus to the moment and the person in front of you. It means setting aside the noise of the outside world and the chatter in your mind to truly listen, to truly see, and to truly feel. When you are fully present, you are saying without words, "This moment matters. You matter. I am here with you." Think about the last time you felt truly seen and heard by someone. Perhaps it was a conversation where the other person wasn't glancing at their phone or thinking about what to say next, but was fully engaged, listening with their whole being. How did that make you feel? Valued? Important? Understood? That's the power of presence. It validates the other person's existence and communicates that they are worthy of your time and attention. Presence is not just about showing up for others, it's also about showing up for yourself. It's about being aware of your own emotions, thoughts, and sensations in the moment. It's about noticing the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter in the distance, or the steady rhythm of your own breath. When you practice presence, you anchor yourself in the now, which is the only moment we truly have. It allows you to experience life more fully, to savor its richness, and to find beauty even in the simplest of things. But presence is not always easy. Our minds are wired to wander, to plan, to worry, and to replay the past. It takes effort and intention to pull ourselves back to the moment. It takes a conscious choice to put down the phone, close the laptop, and resist the urge to multitask. It takes a willingness to let go of the urge to control or predict what comes next, and to simply be. When you bring the power of presence into your relationships, it transforms the way you connect with others. It allows you to listen not just to the words being spoken, but to the feelings behind them. It helps you to notice the subtle cues, the tone of voice, the expression in the eyes, the pauses between sentences that reveal what someone is truly trying to communicate. Presence deepens empathy, fosters understanding, and builds trust. In moments of difficulty or conflict, presence can be especially powerful. When someone is upset or struggling, your ability to simply be with them, to hold space for their pain without trying to fix it or offer solutions, can be profoundly healing. Your presence says, "I may not have all the answers, but I'm here with you." You don't have to face this alone. In those moments, your presence becomes a source of comfort and strength. The beauty of presence is that it requires nothing extravagant or elaborate. You don't need special skills or resources. You only need to be willing to give your attention fully. It is a gift that costs nothing but means everything. And the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. You begin to notice how much more meaningful your interactions are, how much richer your experiences feel, and how much more grounded you become. Presence reminds us of the profound truth that life is not happening yesterday or tomorrow. It is happening right now, and the more we show up for it, the more alive we feel. It is through presence that we find connection, joy, and peace. It is through presence that we truly live. Intentional touch is a language all its own, one that transcends words and speaks directly to the heart. In a world where so much of our communication is digital and fleeting, the power of touch remains timeless and irreplaceable. It is one of the most profound ways to express love, care, and connection. But not all touch is created equal. Intentional touch goes beyond the casual and habitual. It is deliberate, meaningful, and infused with purpose. It carries with it an energy and authenticity that can communicate what words often cannot. To touch with intention is to acknowledge the sacredness of physical connection. It means understanding that a simple gesture, a hand on a shoulder, a gentle squeeze of the fingers, or a warm embrace, has the ability to convey emotions that are deeper and more complex than we can articulate. It's about being fully present in that moment, aware of what your touch is meant to express and how it is likely to be received. Intentional touch isn't rushed or distracted, it's thoughtful and focused, creating a moment of pure connection. Consider the many roles touch plays in our lives. It soothes, it reassures, it excites, and it comforts. When a child cries, the instinctive response of a parent is to scoop them up, to hold them close, to let their touch convey safety and love. When a friend is grieving, a hand placed gently on their arm can say, "I'm here for you," in a way that words cannot. When we're with someone we love, a simple brush of the hand or an arm around the waist can ignite warmth and intimacy, strengthening the bond between us. These moments of touch are powerful not because they are grand gestures, but because they are intentional, imbued with meaning and presence. When we treat each other with reverence and presence, and intentional touch also requires vulnerability. To reach out and touch someone with purpose is to take a risk, to say, "I care about you," or "I want to connect with you," without knowing for sure how they will respond. It is an act of bravery and openness, and that is part of what makes it so impactful. When your touch is intentional, it conveys not only the message you wish to send, but also the courage and authenticity behind it. This kind of touch isn't about control or manipulation. It's about creating a space of mutual respect and trust. It's about listening, not with your ears, but with your hands, to what another person needs in that moment. Sometimes intentional touch is firm and grounding, offering strength and stability. Other times it's soft and gentle, offering comfort and reassurance. The key is to be attuned to the other person, to approach touch not as a reflex or routine, but as a thoughtful act of care. Intentional touch has the power to heal, both physically and emotionally. Studies have shown that human touch can reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and release oxytocin, the hormone that fosters feelings of trust and bonding. But beyond the science, we know this instinctively. A hug from a loved one after a long day can melt away tension. Holding someone's hand in a moment of fear can provide a sense of grounding and safety. So these are not just physical sensations, they are deeply emotional experiences made possible by the intention behind the touch. Touch also carries cultural and personal significance, which makes intention even more important. What is comforting and appropriate in one context may not be in another. Being intentional means being mindful of these nuances, taking the time to understand what kind of touch is meaningful and welcome to the person you're connecting with. It's about tuning into their boundaries, their preferences, and their emotions, and responding in a way that feels respectful and genuine. As a couple, he is inspired by her confidence and preferences and their emotions, and responding in a way that feels respectful and genuine. In romantic relationships, intentional touch can deepen intimacy and reignite connection. Over time, it's easy to let physical gestures become routine or transactional. A quick kiss goodbye, a passing hug, a pat on the back. But when touch is intentional, it becomes a powerful way to say, I see you, I appreciate you, I desire you. Good. A lingering touch on the arm, a caress of the cheek, or a heartfelt embrace can remind your partner that they are cherished and loved, not just in words, but in actions. Intentional touch is a gift, both to the giver and the receiver. It creates moments of connection that are tangible and real, moments that stay with us long after the touch itself has ended. It is a reminder of our humanity, of the ways we are connected to one another, and of the profound impact we can have on each other with even the simplest of gestures. Amy Traubel's entrepreneurial journey started in 2004 when she started what is now the largest vision board company in the U.S., Amy Traubel's Plants. When you touch with intention, you're not just reaching out with your hand, you're reaching out with your heart, creating a bond that is felt on a deeper, more meaningful level. Resonating with the soul is about connecting on a level that goes beyond the surface, beyond words, beyond even physical presence. It is a meeting of energies, a silent understanding that transcends the noise of the everyday and reaches the essence of who we truly are. This kind of connection isn't something that can be forced or manufactured. It arises when we are authentic, open, and willing to truly see and be seen. It is an acknowledgement of the shared humanity that resides within each of us, the spark of something greater that binds us together. When you resonate with someone's soul, you are not just engaging with their exterior or their roles in life. You are touching the core of their being. This connection comes from a place of deep empathy and genuine care, where you seek not to change or fix, but to understand and honor the person as they are. It's the kind of connection that happens when you listen not just with your ears, but with your whole being, tuning into the emotions and unspoken truths that lie beneath the surface. This resonance often begins with presence, the act of being fully there for someone without distraction or judgment. When you bring your whole self into a moment, you create a space where the other person feels safe to let down their guard, to share their truth, to reveal the layers of their soul that they might otherwise keep hidden. It's not about what you say or do, it's about how you show up, the energy you bring, and the authenticity you exude. There's a profound vulnerability in connecting at this level. It requires you to be open not just to the other person, but also to yourself. It means embracing your own fears, insecurities, and imperfections, and allowing those parts of you to coexist with your strengths and aspirations. When you are willing to show up in this way, you give permission for the other person to do the same. This mutual openness creates a bridge between souls, a bond that is unshakable because it is built on truth. Resonating with the soul is also about intuition, the ability to sense what someone needs without them having to say it. It's about being attuned to the subtle cues, the shifts in energy, the moments when words are inadequate but presence is enough. It's the way you instinctively know to offer comfort when someone is struggling, to give space when they need time, or to share a quiet moment of joy when words would only diminish it. This kind of attunement comes not from intellect, but from a deeper, almost instinctual understanding of the other person's essence. The connection that resonates with the soul is timeless. It doesn't matter how much time has passed or how far apart you may be physically. When two souls resonate, the bond remains. This is why certain relationships feel unshakable even after years or miles separate you. It's not about constant contact or shared experiences. It's about the energy that was exchanged, the way you truly saw and understood each other in a way that left an imprint. Resonating with the soul isn't limited to romantic relationships. It can happen with friends, family, even strangers in fleeting moments of genuine connection. It's the feeling of being deeply understood, of someone recognizing something in you that you might not even fully recognize in yourself. It's the kind of connection that makes you feel alive, that reminds you of the beauty and depth of human existence. It's an exchange of energy that lingers, that shapes you, and that becomes a part of who you are. Love as an energy exchange is a profound concept that shifts the way we view relationships and connection. It is the understanding that love is not a finite resource to be given or taken, but a dynamic flow of energy between individuals. Something that is both shared and amplified in its giving and receiving. When we see love as energy, it becomes clear that it is not confined to words or actions alone. It exists in the spaces between, in the intentions behind our gestures, in the feelings we transmit, and in the vibrations we leave behind in the lives of others. Julie, the last time that we talked, I was on fire with curiosity about your life and your path. Every interaction we have carries energy, and love is the highest and most transformative form of that energy. It's not something that can be measured or held, but it is something deeply felt. Think of the warmth in a genuine hug, the spark of connection in a shared glance, or the comfort in a gentle touch. These moments transcend the physical. They are exchanges of energy that speak directly to the heart. This flow of energy creates a bond, a sense of being seen, valued, and connected on a level that words could never fully express. Love as an energy exchange thrives on intention. It's not just about the actions we take or the words we say, but the energy we bring to those moments. You can tell someone you love them, but if your energy doesn't align with those words, if it's distracted, hesitant, or insincere, they may feel the disconnect. On the other hand, a simple act like making someone a cup of tea or sitting quietly by their side can radiate love when it is done with genuine care and intention. It's the energy behind the action that matters, the unspoken message that says, I am here for you and I see you. This concept also teaches us that love is not one-sided. It is a reciprocal flow. For love to thrive, there must be balance. When you give love freely and openly without conditions or expectations, you create space for it to return to you in ways that may be unexpected, but equally fulfilling. Bu Ciara. It's not about keeping score or ensuring a perfect balance of give and take in every moment. It's about trusting that the energy you put into the world will find its way back to you, often in forms that transcend your expectations. Love as energy is dynamic and adaptable. It is not confined to grand romantic gestures or specific relationships. It exists in the smallest acts of kindness, the silent support of a friend, the compassion extended to a stranger, or the care you give to yourself. When we see love as an energy exchange, it removes the limitations of traditional definitions of love. It becomes something universal, something we can access and share in every interaction with everyone we encounter and in every choice we make. Understanding love as energy also means recognizing the importance of self-love. The energy you carry within yourself is the foundation for the energy you bring to your relationships. If you are depleted, drained, or disconnected from your own well-being, the love you offer to others will reflect that imbalance. By nurturing yourself, by honoring your own needs and boundaries, you create a reservoir of positive energy that flows naturally into your connections with others. Self-love is not selfish. It is the starting point for the kind of love that uplifts and sustains both you and those around you. This perspective encourages us to be mindful of the energy we carry and how it influences the people we interact with. When you approach someone with love, compassion, and openness, they can feel that energy. It might be in the way you listen without judgment, the way you offer encouragement, or the way you simply hold space for them in their moment of need. These exchanges, no matter how small, create ripples of love that extend far beyond the immediate interaction. At the same time, love as an energy exchange reminds us that receiving is just as important as giving. Sometimes we block the flow of love by resisting it, by doubting our worthiness, by closing ourselves off, or by fearing vulnerability. To truly engage in the energy of love, we must be open to accepting it, to allowing ourselves to be cared for, supported, and uplifted by others. This openness creates a cycle where the giving and receiving of love fuel each other, creating a flow that is nourishing and infinite. In the end, everything comes back to connection. Connection with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us. Whether it's the courage of vulnerability, the power of presence, the intention behind touch, the resonance of souls, or the dynamic exchange of love as energy, it all serves as a reminder that we are deeply interconnected beings. These acts are not about grand displays or perfect words. They are about showing up authentically, creating meaningful moments, and embracing the beauty of human connection in its rawest, most profound form. To truly connect, we must be willing to open ourselves up, to be seen, to give, and to receive with equal measure. In doing so, we unlock a depth of love and understanding that transcends the ordinary, touching the very core of our existence. It is through these exchanges, big and small, that we weave the fabric of our relationships, enrich our lives, and leave an indelible mark on the hearts of those we meet. And as we navigate this journey, let us remember that love, in all its forms, is the energy that sustains us, the force that unites us, and the gift we all have to share.